Okay, so this video is going to be all about eating whole foods, okay? Now, when I say eating whole foods, a lot of people still think that they can grab a bunch from the store. And I want to kind of like break that myth, okay? So, whole foods are not have not been processed or refined, okay? They have zero additives in artificial substances, okay? At the other end of the spectrum, there are ultra processed foods, okay? These are foods that are containing salt, sugar, fat, but also substances that normally do not occur in home cooking, okay? So that's ultra processed foods you want to avoid, but you also want to avoid all the things that contain salt, sugar, fats, and substances that is normally not found in cooking of the home, okay? Those are all added, like when they're added to it, okay? And not naturally occurring, but added, okay? So, they can be like the stuff that's not normally found at home. Like these could be like artificial flavors, colors, preservatives, and other additives, okay? And these things normally occur in soft drinks, desserts, and cereals, pizzas, pies, I could go on. All right. So you want to, I know this is like, it feels overwhelming, but you do want to start making more things at home, okay? And with my clients is we switch out one thing a week. So don't like go take everything out of your cupboards right now and say, okay, I gotta make this all from scratch. No, you start switching one thing over a week. And once you can handle that one thing a week, you add another, okay? So you start with one, okay? It could be making bread at home, okay? Store-bought bread has tons of additives and preservatives to it. And they have lots of sugar to it. Same with cheese as well. Some of the cheese has a lot of sugar added to it. You have to look at the back, okay? More of the higher priced cheese are actually like real cheese, okay? They don't have any added artificial flavors or sugars or anything like that. They're just like actual cheese. So just have a look, see, okay? But most of the time, the processed cheese and the processed cheese, okay, that's what I'm talking about, like the processed cheese, like the Kraft single slices, right, loaded with artificial flavors and sugars, okay? The brick cheese is good. Pre-shredded cheese, not so good. They actually have a chemical substance that's on them, so they don't clump in the bag, so they look really good for you to buy, okay? So I would buy the brick cheese and then grate it at home, okay? Like we do that all the time. I buy big brick cheese is what I do, okay? When I first come home from the grocery store, I cut that brick in half and I grate half of it and I leave a whole thing in the fridge, okay? So in case I want like cheese slices or anything, but I have half of it grated up, so whenever I just want to make a quick casserole or something, I can just grab a handful of it, throw it in the bowl, and I'm good to go, okay? Is it gonna clump in your fridge? Yes. Yes, it's cheese, but you know it's still good, right? You just grab, like, you can like break it apart with your hands, right? Like, let's not get all too picky with it. Okay, so that's a great way for cheese. Focus on just buying brick cheese. It's a little bit more time consuming, yes, but it's so much better for you. You do not have any of those chemicals on you, okay? For breads, my rule of thumb with bread for my clients is that you can't whack someone and it really hurt them by the end of the day with your bread, it is not fresh bread and you should not buy it. Okay? So a lot of bread now, you can actually go to the store and buy it and it'll last on your counter for a week, right? Right? If that's the bread you're buying, it's filled with a preservative to keep it fresh. But if you have a bread that if it's not covered or stored properly, it gets really hard by the end of the day, like you could actually use it as a weapon, like most breads, that's the bread you want, okay? That is made from all natural ingredients, and the reason why it's getting hard is because of the natural ingredients inside of it. It's good. It's good. So buy the freshly made bread, because they do have that at the store. You can buy freshly made bread at the store, at a normal grocery store too. Most of the time, like Loblaws Superstore here in Canada, they actually have a bakery with fresh bread, right? Get that fresh bread, and then you can just store it at home properly, and you're good to go, right? You could have it for about a week. Or you can start making your bread from scratch. We make our bread from scratch all the time, just so I know personally what's going in it. I love it, okay? And then I can get creative with it, like make a double chocolate bread or zucchini bread, pumpkin spice bread, almond butter bread, which is like super good. Okay? You get really creative with it, all right? So there's stuff like that while you're eating whole foods that you need to think about. Like if it comes in a package, you really have to think going, is this really whole foods? Can I really make this? Basically, you say, can I make this from scratch at home? And if you look at the back and you cannot read the ingredients, then no, it's not whole foods, okay? You need to be able to read the ingredients, understand what each ingredient is, and be able to like actually get those ingredients and make it from home. That would be homemade, like that you can have that's homemade. If you can't do that, it is not a whole foods thing, unfortunately, okay? So when you're going, what I tell my clients is stick to the outside, okay? Because when you stick to the outside, everything's fresh. It's fresh because it needs a fridge or freeze, right? So that's where all your meats are, your fresh fruits and vegetables, your dairy, your eggs, all that stuff is on the outside. The only time you should be going on the inside is to get your natural sweeteners and your flours, which is all in the organic section. So you shouldn't even be in the other area of the store ever again. Okay, we don't go in there. Sometimes, like, we peek down the pop aisle to see if the Zevia is there, if it's all out in the organics, because sometimes they put it in the wrong spot. That's basically the only reason why we ever go in there. Okay, because really, if you're eating whole foods means that you're eating food that has been grown or fed meat-wise, like is a living thing, and you can take those ingredients and make them at home if you need to. So, right? And we can give you some recipes. We can give you some healthy alternatives. There is some stuff in the organic section that can, if you actually look at the back, like you can actually you could make it at home. The ingredients, you can read it, right? So if you want suggestions and stuff like that, you can put it in the comments below this video, and we can get you some alternatives going for you that you don't have to make from scratch, that you can still grab and go, okay? But what we do with our big sugar-free 6-week program and our one-on-one clients, we show them how you can literally just take 30 minutes a week and make a ton of food, so you have all this stuff to just grab and go at, right? And it's all about switching one thing at a time, okay? One thing at a time, and just slowly do it. Because once you do it one thing at a time, then you add one more, and then you add one more. It's not so overwhelming, right? It's not. And then it starts becoming a habit. It starts becoming like a muscle memory, and you just do it. You do it nice and quick, okay? Like when I'm making supper for my family, I sometimes make 2 casseroles at that one time. So one's going in. It takes 20 minutes to cook when it goes in, okay? I'm putting the other one in the other thing as that one's cooking. And as soon as it comes out, I'm putting the other one in. And by the time I'm done serving everyone and I come back to serve myself, that other casserole is done. So I've made 2 dinners in one dinner, right? Right? Because moms eat last, right? I made 2 dinners at once, and you could put the other casserole in the fridge for quick meals if you're running late or behind one day, especially if you know you're going to be working late one day, or you have a day of the week where you're just really tired. Find one, a little time where you could actually already make the supper before that, making 2 casseroles at once kind of thing, right? Making 2 lasagnas at once. And use it so you have something to go to, so you're not picking up the phone to call pizza or anything like that. You have something ready to go. That's what we do with we make a plan. We know you're going to have a tired day. We know you're not going to want to cook. Why do we know? Because I have those days too, right? So we give you helpful suggestions, and just ways to kind of work your new lifestyle in with your current lifestyle, right? But that's my video for this one. If you have any questions at all, you can put them below, and I will see you in the next video.